In Libya, 70% of the tribes supported Gaddafi, 30% were opposed. That 30% were empowered to finish the other 30%. They were bombed from the air, they were bombed from the sea, they were bombed from everywhere, they were completely destroyed. I mean, that's a very fair fight in which you had NATO and Gaddafi without any weapons on the other, and like you had Saddam Hussein without weapons on the other, and you had a very fair fight. I mean, and it was a very fair fight, and surprisingly, I mean, it's an amazing surprise to me, for example, that with all, reading these US things about weapons of mass destruction, the US military trained in Iraq sometimes was 13, 14 miles long. No commander will have a 13-mile long military train if there is any fear of any kind of WMD that day. I can tell you. US military guys are extremely smart people. I've gone to the Pentagon multiple times. They're very, very bright guys. They knew fully well there was no WMD there at all. If they were WMD, they would not have done the kind of tactics and things they did. Mr. Gaddafi had surrendered everything, they knew all that. And they basically fought sitting ducks. Syria is not a sitting duck. Unlike Libya and Iraq, Mr. Assad has not surrendered his WMD, he's got it. He's got his army intact and he's fighting back. Very, very tough. One Turkish plane came to test defenses, it was shot down. They're waiting to shoot down any other plane that comes. They're waiting to send in WMD if it wants. Because today I can tell you, after seeing what happened to Mr. Gaddafi, after seeing what happened to Saddam Hussein, Mr. Assad knows exactly what's going to happen to him if he loses this war. You are on YouTube videos, you can see Mr. Gaddafi's last moments. On YouTube video, you can see Mr. Saddam Hussein's last moment. Mr. Assad does not want to figure in such a YouTube video. For some reason, I don't know. Very, very unreasonable. But he doesn't want to do it. So this is going to be a real battle. And it's going to be a very ugly battle. So as I said, I just want to basically say that I am seriously concerned that the West has got it completely wrong on this. In the case of the Arab Spring again, pressure was brought to bear by Mr. Clinton on Mr. Mubarak to quit. A man who served you for 30 years. In our part of the world, we believe in old royalties. If you dump a person like that, nobody is going to believe in you. That's, Mubarak. You have Saddam Hussein and you have Gaddafi, who disarmed, gave up WMD, surrendered completely to you. They have been massacred, they have been murdered. Who's going to surrender? Mr. Kim Jong-il is not going to surrender. He's definitely not going to surrender. Mr. Assad is not going to surrender. And definitely Mr. Mahmoud Ahmadinejad is not going to surrender. They're going to work night and day towards producing nuclear weapons, chemical weapons, whatever weapons you got, they're going to produce because they have seen what happened to people who surrender. As a person who's done a little bit of research and strategy, it's very hard for me to understand the logic of this. But all I can say today is that today we are having a very unpleasant situation in the Arab world. And ultimately this is going to hit the monarchies. Because in this attack, finally what's going to happen is, the only way Assad can save himself is to take the war into Turkey, take the war into Saudi Arabia, take the war into Qatar. He has got to arm groups in Turkey, arm groups in Saudi Arabia, arm groups in Qatar, arm the groups against him now. And in Turkey you've got the Kurds, you've got the Armenians, you've got the Christians, you've got the Shia, you've got the Arabs. All of them are treated much worse than Turks are treated in Turkey. So again, let me repeat to you. Armenians, Kurds, Christians, Armenians are Christians, but they're non-Armenians and Christians, Arabs and Shia, they're extremely badly treated in Turkey. But we don't hear Hillary Clinton talk in terms of, the need to have fair treatment of that. Like we don't hear them talk about fair treatment of Shia in Saudi Arabia. That's a different matter. So today, this war is going to spread to this kind of region. This kind of violence is going to spread there. The whole thing is going to go out of control. So I think unless good sense prevails and there's a hands-off policy towards this call, what's really happening in Syria and what's happening, unless there's a hands-off policy, I think we're going to go into a very, very, very difficult situation. So far as Iran is concerned, Iran knows now it's fight or die. Mr. Assad knows it's fight or die. Now we are taught in elementary conflict psychology for God's sake, give an escape route to your opponent. Otherwise, that opponent will fight in front. Give an escape route. In fact, there is a theory in the Second World War also, that because they declared about 3 years before the war was won, unconditional surrender, that the German army did not kill Hitler soon enough, because they thought, even if we kill him, it's unconditional surrender. If they had said, that, look, you get rid of this man, you come to us, we'll work out the same deal they worked out after the war. Japan and Germany were extremely well treated after the war. But both Japan and Germany thought they'd be completely destroyed after the war. They were quite certain they'd be completely demolished after the war. It didn't happen. But if it had been made clear that they would be treated with honor, as they were treated with honor, the war could possibly, at least in Germany's case, the military in Germany could have finished off Hitler much earlier. In my personal view, again, I may be wrong. And a lot of very good people lost their lives. For example, that a particular group, a religious group. This religious group is the most talented religious group in the world. I have no hesitation in talking statistically. The Jewish people have done more for culture, for civilization, for science, for technology than any other group in the world. Maybe the Parsis of Bombay are a close second. But he killed millions of them. So millions of inventions, millions of works of art were completely destroyed by that. And all that because the army in Germany felt there was no way. Now that same unconditional warfare, that no holds barred, that same mindset you're creating in those people whom NATO is now confronting in the Middle East. So I think it's going to be a very, very interesting and unpleasant situation. And I'm looking forward to my next visit back there. Thank you.